Well, welcome to a new Harry's Garage video, and this one is going to be one of the annual roundups of what happened in the garage, what costs were incurred running this fleet of around 35 cars and bikes and various toys we have in here. What a year 2020 turned out to be as well. Best laid plans at the 2019 didn't quite happen. We got some trips in, we did some of the planned things with the cars, but like everyone else, and the world was turned upside down as COVID went global and we all had to adapt to a new way of living. Well, that happened here in the garage obviously as well. One thing I have to say, I thank you so much for all the support in 2020 and the comments, and we've been putting more videos out this year and it seems to have gone down very well, and I'm hugely grateful for the support you gave us. I think we're on for about 27 million views in 2020, which is way up. I think we had 12 million in 2019. Anyway, going back to the garage. What happened in the garage? What were the costs incurred? Well, what left the garage? One car left the garage in 2020, and that was my little Alfa Duetto. We'd enjoyed that trip on to the Mille Miglia in 2019, done that engine rebuild, but I found it battling with the Elan and the new Lancia that had rocked up and the Esprit. The Duetto was just like one too many convertibles. We got the Project 7 here as well, and I had someone who really wanted it, and it sold like immediately. I think it was 40-something thousand pounds. So sort of sorry to see it go, because it was such a good example, that one. I haven't seen a better one, better prepped than that one in the silver, and we had that engine rebuild as well. 3 bikes joined us, no other cars joined us in 2020, but 3 quite unusual bikes. A Honda CBX 6-cylinder, I bought that Kawasaki Z1300 last year, wanted to get that, a Moto Guzzi, and an Africa Twin Marathon. We'll have a look at those in a moment. I just want to get back to the garage. Right, the other big cost this year obviously is insurance. I sort of mentioned this, I'm with Footman James again this year. They are, I know, a channel sponsor, but it is completely separate. And this year's insurance was £7,714. I don't know why, it was £400 cheaper than last year. Maybe it was a little bit of no claims after the Mercedes that went through last year, the repair after the fire damage to the Mercedes SL 350. But it covers a lot of, it's 35 vehicles. I think it might be 36 now, because that Africa Twin is a new one since I did the policy. And it's 4 people on it, and I can drive all the cars. It's the newer cars that actually cost the most to insure on the group policy for whatever reason. All the same with all insurance policy. If you have a modern performance car, they're the ones you pay 10 times more than perhaps you would pay for a Countach, being a classic, because you just don't do the miles in it. So that's insurance, but what did we do to each individual car service-wise, or repairs or rebuilds? Let's go and have a closer look at each one. Right, the Jaguar, my XJ Coupe. I didn't do a lot of miles in this one. My son actually did quite a few trips in this one this year. It is mad, this thing, with its sort of hot rod suspension. In 2018, XJ Restorations put the trick suspension on it, fully adjustable, lower diff on it. This is a manual XJ Coupe, if you've seen it. Makes the most glorious sound. Didn't spend a bean on it in 2020. It's just typical of the year, but I think it's done about 400 miles or something like that. Rolls Royce, sort of pretty similar story. 2020 meant we didn't do very many miles in this either, but they're all very memorable miles. It's the going to pub car type of thing, trip. You can all pile in it, no seat belts in the back, so you can get quite a few people in it for very local journeys. But yeah, no adventures this year. The one that had the big spend on it was, of course, the Lamborghini Espada. And I'd started this in August last year, and it finally just came back in time to go to the London Concours, which was in August. And it was literally, picked it up on the truck, next day down into London, the Royal Artillery Club in City of London, crazy venue, and put it on the field. I was so chuffed. It looked so, I mean, the engine and the detail on it, it looked ace. And then came judging day, chucked it down with rain.